Douglas Gardham is the best-selling author of the Drive-In and Star Book awarded novels, the actor and the musician. Doug is a former engineer whose calling led him to leave his former career behind to pursue writing full-time. The Globe and Mail praised his debut novel, The Actor, as a bizarre David Lynch-like thriller about obsession, delusion, and determination. He's been featured in many TV, radio, and print interviews, sold over 15,000 books, and has completed over 400 book events. I would like to introduce you to Douglas Gardham. He is here with us. And Doug, it is certainly a pleasure to be interviewing you. It's exciting to regain and be in touch with you again. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well, George. I'm kind of beside myself today, even having this chat. So I'm very excited about it and really what territory we'll track. So thank you very much for thinking of me. As we'd said, it's been a few years and active as ever. Just there's lots of different things that are kind of going on, but from where we started and kind of where things are at right now is we're kind of there where we had talked about being
Oh
several
my
years
gosh.
ago. So it's one of those things now that is just I have to sometimes how do I say this? It's one of those things that I'd always wanted to do, and this is what I get to do now.
Well, the first thing that I want to know about is, I mean, how does one go from the mathematic world of engineering and then decide to fully pursue writing, not just as an art or hobby, but as a career? How did you get to that point?
I think part of getting to that point was the career that I had in the corporate world with the engineering background and going through those years. I think I knew pretty early, actually, when I say that, like in my teens, that I had a very creative spirit, and it was part of where I was at. But I was also quite aware, I'll call it even responsible, the eldest of my family, that you had to go out and you had to make a living. And that was, those two didn't meld. So whether it be music, whether it be writing, whatever it was, I'm not from a musical family. I'm not from a creative family. And so what I was trying to figure out is what could I do to make money? And I was pretty good at math and science, and that's kind of what led me into the engineering world. So I was able to do that in many ways, but I found out very early that I mean, engineering is kind of like the medical and the legal professions, and that is that we're supporting standards and laws that have been put in place. And so in an engineering world, you're really trying to make sure that what a designer or someone puts together will actually stand up, be it a building, be it a car, be it an airplane, which is not particularly creative. But at the same time, I found a way in order to have that kind of work together. And so for a long time, that's really what I did. But I also found out that I had to have my outlet. So in many things I've talked about previously, I got up literally an hour almost before I would have to leave for work, and I would write a page a day. And that's kind of how the first book actually got completed, was through writing a page a day, the actor. And I kind of stole that from Stephen King. And I mean, that number fluctuates a lot in many interviews that he's had. You never know exactly what that is. And there's days I wonder how possible it actually is. But that's kind of how I started. And I still maintain that today. I'm doing a little bit more. Writing has become, I'll say, much more of an activity that I'm pursuing now in kind of a different vein. So that's kind of how that meld. And you get to a point, and I would go through a 5-year cycle almost. That is this really what I wanted to do? It was a little saying that I had said many times: is what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? And whenever I'd hear that echo in the back of my head, that would like, okay, you know what that is, but I just could not figure out how to balance that with a family and to continue on. So a number of things kind of came together. And when I finally pursued really finishing the actor, and that's where we kind of got first connected, I had to make a decision, and that was really, I was now what I wanted to do. Could I make a go of it? And so that's what we've been doing.